Um, yes, good evening. From here, I am Mazi Austin, and this evening I want us to look into issues of reaction and an ongoing issue people have indeed reacted immensely on, and it's important we talk about it because it's worth talking about. Recently, few days ago, the whole social media went agog, over the released photos of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at Trump's rally in Iowa anyway. And yes, that picture it really raised a lot of dust. It really raised a lot of excitements. It really raised a lot of concerns, worries by, those who feel threatened by the peaceful quest for freedom of the Biafran people. And this evening we are going to really talk about it. We are going to really make a dissection on the pictures. We are going to, look at some of the reactions, and I think put up other things we feel are necessary to put up. Very, very important, because his appearance in Trump's rally got a lot of people surprised. But I think those who are reacting are not reacting because he attended the Trump rally, because anybody can attend. Any lover of Republican, any lover of Trump, anyone who is in America could as well attend the rally. No doubt about it. Anybody can be in the rally. So that is not really the purpose of anxieties. That is not really the purpose of panics. That is not really why people are jittering all over the places, because if you're in the United States and Trump rally is going on in so place, you can identify, you can go for the rally. So there's nothing so big that. So if you are in United States, for instance, and there is an ongoing Trump's rally somewhere, you can attend. So that is not a big game. That is not where the concern is coming from those who are panicking. That is not where their fear lies. That is not where their concern lies. Their concern lies on the fact which we are going to present this evening, which we are going to give justice to. Very, very important to understand that. Because if it's all about that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu attended the Trump's rally, that wouldn't have. That can be a cause for alarm. It doesn't call for panic. It's not a cause for alarm. It doesn't call for panic. It doesn't call for jittering, because anybody invariably who is within the area where Trump is holding rally could as well attend. There's nothing so big about it. But I want to show you why the people are panicking. But before we get to the point, because we are going to really make use of pictures, very, very important. But before we go to that point, that is raising concern in Asorok, that is raising concern among African players, that is raising concern, sending a very strong signals, both to the Biafran people, both to lovers of freedom, both to supporters of Biafra, and haters of Biafra. We are going to look at what actually is sending signals to these different fronts. Very, very important. We will understand it. Very, very important. So, but before that, you know, there have been these speculations. People have speculated, people have accurately predicted that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is enjoying American support on the quest for Biafran restoration. People have, you know, tried to tease up America to have American government make her position known. People have, you know, tried to gather opinions from official point of view. But all the same, the analysis we are going to engage this evening is going to help us immensely to understand where and how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must have taken the Biafran cause to the American politics or political circle. Very, very important. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is, before now, what was American position on Biafra? I just stormed into, which I think I would love to share with us. I just stormed into U.S. State Department archive and just going through a kind of telegram. You know, telegram sent during the Civil War. Precisely, that was January. It was a telegram sent on January 11th, 1969. And within that time, American position on Biafra issue was what American described, which I'm going to share to us. Government policy remained one Nigeria with relief supply. American foreign policy within that time was on one Nigerian project, and it was to support both Biafrans, the warring parts. America was to give relief to the Biafran people and equally give any aid needed by the Nigerian government. So she was not really showing partisanship. Rather, she was just trying to maintain neutrality. That was American policy in 1969, according to the this is where I sought it, which is important to show us. This is U.S. Department of State archive. So you can see, and what I was quoting earlier was taken from this session, and that is January, a kind of a telegram sent on 11th January 1969. So you can see that was the foreign. I'm talking about the position of Americans of that time. But today, have anything changed? This is what we are going to spend the next 50, if not 60 minutes to talk about. Very, very important. And we are going to dig out our facts, because we are meant to understand that facts should regulate us and nothing much, nothing less. So let's look at the current development. If American foreign policy or American position on Nigeria geopolitics have been on one Nigerian project, is such still obtainable today? This is what we're going to look at with a lot of evidences. You should understand that there was this impression, there was this false narrative. Mazi Foreign, I'm greeting from here. Nice to see you, sir. So there is this false narrative. People tend to give this false impression that was the first narrative, first story, first presentation that we are fed, that the entire world was fed with. Do you understand me? The entire world was filled with this false narrative that having a united Nigeria is for the betterment of Africa. And you will agree with me that Nigeria just got independent, barely 7 years after her independence, the war broke out. Barely 7 years. Nigeria got her independence in 1960, and in 1967, the war broke out. So there was this hope, in quotes, among Committee of Nations that, no, we don't have to allow this nascent nation to just break up. Besides, having a big brother, that was the story, the first narrative they sold to Africa, most African countries, members of the defunct OAU, that if we should have a united Nigeria that is going to create their own version of America in Africa, is going to help them to have their own version of India, China in Asia, in Africa. It's going to help them to have going to help Africa to have her own Brazil. So, all those narratives were taken hook, line, and sinker by a lot of African countries, by the international community, even by America. But, so for that reason, there was need for everybody to subscribe to the project of One Nigeria. And America on herself, though not playing part, but say, okay, let's see what we can make out from this newly emerging nation. So, and she subscribed. And you will agree with me that after the Civil War, the same Nigeria told America, take a critical fellowship of our narratives. Very, very important. After the Civil War, the same Nigeria told the American government that, see, we are going to make sure the wound is healed. We are going to make sure these people are integrated. We are going to make sure there will be reconciliation. We are going to make sure there is going to be a rehabilitation. In fact, they plagiarized American post-Civil War concept. That was exactly what happened. Nigeria just copied verbatim. When you see the 3 ROS, reconstruction, rehabilitation, reconciliation, those 3 ROS, which was the American post-Civil War policy, the concept of no veto, no vanquish, they plagiarized American concept and imported it into their post-Civil War policies. I'm talking about Nigeria. They copied what they don't even understand. America adopted those things and integrated them into their political mainstream. They allow it to evolve, then indigenized it. It was allowed to settle. But in the case of Nigeria, they just saw grammar, they saw 3 ROS, they never understand the rudiments. They never understand, they never take a deep understanding of the implementative mechanisms. They just copied. And the world was happy, of course, that there was no veto, there was no vanquish, there was this 3 ROS, reconciliation, rehabilitation, and, reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction, So everybody felt it was a good idea. And the world said, okay, let's allow them and see how it rolled. So from 1970, when the war ended, till now, Nigeria has shown the world, Nigeria has proven the world that they copied what they don't even understand the concept. They have proven to the world that no veto, no vanquish was just the peep on American script and plagiarized without even having any intention to implement that. The 3 ROS, they equally convinced the world that they know nothing about it. It was just an academic importation of a concept they know nothing or they knew nothing about. So what are we trying to say? So on that ground, America never get happy with the entire development. Make no mistake about that. America is the police of the world, whether you subscribe to that notion or not. America takes a lot of global responsibilities which most countries cannot engage on. So what is happening in any country is a responsibility of America to either arrest the situation if the situation is going to threaten global peace and security, because she is the hegemon of the world. She is the police of the world. She bears not less than 40% of the global burden. It lies on America. It lies on American economy. It lies on American military personnel. It lies on American assets. It lies on Washington. It lies on Oval Office. So if anybody comes and say, who made Nigeria? Sorry, who made America police of the world? Such person is talking out of order. Is talking out of reality. Is talking ignorantly. So what are we trying to say? Yes, we are excluded. The Biafran people are excluded. Yes, the Biafran people are marginalized. But remember, you cannot expect America to do what you're supposed to do for yourself. You must understand this. Even though CIA has said some time ago that Nigeria will divide in so, they have given a date and they made that statement. You should equally understand that there is a limit America can engage you. Rather, you have to engage yourself and expect America to come back. But the problem we have, we must say it the way it is. We must say it raw, the way it is. The problem we have before now is that those who champion the cause of our freedom are neither illiterates or bunch of criminals who don't understand the rudiment of international politics. I repeat, yes, we want Biafra, we want freedom, but the challenge we had earlier before now is that most guys, I'm talking after the Civil War, most guys who came up and started talking about Biafra, either they are illiterate. I'm talking about illiteracy, not necessarily going to university. I'm talking about not having knowledge of the complexity of international politics, not really having the knowledge of how international politics works. And that's why sometimes you blame them, but you blame them to a limit. That's why you see them, when they get to the hard point of the complex international political environment, you see them fizzling out. They have to naturally retire to Owerri and get the whole thing, limited or narrowed within Owerri environment or Enugu environment, or at worst Lagos. So why do you see them, when they get to a point, an elastic point, they recycle back to the local environment? The truth remains, international politics, the complicity in international politics requires a high intellectual prowess. It requires a sound intellectual resources. It's not something that you do within, with a local mindset. Understand what I'm saying? So that was why most of them had it very, very difficult to cross within that range. When they get to the point of Lagos, when they get to the point of attracting Abuja, they will now, it is a kind of diminishing return or anti-climax. They get to the climax, which is Lagos awareness level, they start coming back. So why would they come back? They will come back because they don't have the intellectual input to engage in the complex international and diplomatic environment. So even though America wants you to have your freedom, you must have what it takes to constructively, to intellectually, to diplomatically engage too many international players. That is just how it is. There are too many international players within the corridor of international politics. And if you don't have strong mental disposition, you will fizzle out. So what you're seeing today, because we are just starting, we are going to go to the nitty-gritty of the dynamics of international politics and how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have wittingly and intelligently maneuvered and played within the gallery. That is a very commendable accolade that we must offer to him. Very, very important. So what are we trying to say? Today, we are seeing a serious shift of American position from the one Nigeria project or one Nigeria aberration or one Nigeria mantra to the support for self-determination. Very, very important. How do you know America have shifted? The first ground at which we call our fast to order, because I said this evening we are going to make use of too many evidences. We are going to invoke a lot of evidences. Very, very important, because they will help us. Now, the first signal, America showed, and let me say this before we go further. No country would want to support a corrupt, mentally poor, and an indisciplined fellow. That is a mistake people make. If you come out, you want to fight for freedom of your people. America knows your integrity worth. That is just the way it is. America knows your integrity worth. Israel knows your integrity worth. They know if you are just there for money. They know how far you can go. See, CIA secretly vet you without you knowing. FBI understudies you without you knowing. M16, M15, and other intelligent world, Mossad and all the rest of it, they all beam satellite on you. They know when you have a high integrity, when you are conscious of what, where, and whom you are dealing with. They know all about this. They are not stupid. Before they start giving you attention, before they start allowing you to start coming close to the identity, they must have vetted you. So when people say, why is it America never gave Biafra, support earlier before now? Or why didn't America support those who were here before Nnamdi Kanu? Come on. Your criminal records are known. Your criminal records are known. The worst thing that can ever happen to any country is for that country to support an individual who claims he's fighting for freedom. And tomorrow, money is offered to him. He disassociates from what those countries have received a lot of attacks because of. So for that reason, countries don't barge into issues. They are not emotional. So one of the ways we begin, and including not just we, Nigerian government, one of the ways Nigerian government begin to appreciate, or sorry, not appreciate in any way, sorry for that. One of the ways Nigerian government begin to, show suspiciousness in Americans' move over the self-determination project was when Nigerian government came up and said, although before then, America, when Mazi Nnamdi was detained, America was speaking out, condemning, trying to speak to the Nigerian government and say, he's a freedom fighter, so you must respect him as an activist and all this. Sometimes these are behind camera pressures they put up. But when American government showed up Nigeria, their clear position was immediately Nigerian government declared, IPOB a terrorist group. That action was a serious concern to the world. Very, very serious concern to the world. Why? Abuja declared IPOB a terrorist organization, expecting Wall Street, expecting United States to help them to track the financial movement of IPOB. Because America has what it takes to stop any group financial movement. Yes. That is just how it is. They expected America to help them out. But do you know what? United States said it explicitly that these people are not terrorist organizations. And remember when Nigeria made this statement, a lot of countries were waiting to get American position, because the worst thing you can do is rush into issue. Nigeria said IPOB is a terrorist group, and you rush to support only for America to say it's not true. You have messed up your foreign policy. So when Nigeria said that, a lot of countries were like crossing their fingers, waiting to hear the position of United States. And the United States government came up with a position. And what is that position? That these people are not terrorist organizations. Rather, they are freedom fighters. Do you understand? That statement forced Britain. And remember, as of that time, Britain was governed by Theresa May. Theresa May would have loved to back Nigeria as a colonial daughter. But because United States refused to subscribe into that junk, a lot of countries just waved that terrorism tag. And that was the beginning of the murder of international politics. And today, a lot of things have happening. Let me show us This is a Voice of America anyway, because most of us might not have. This is Voice of America write-up, and is written by Chuka Odua, November 16th. So this is the Voice of America publication. Nigeria's Biafra separatists see hope in Trump, VOA, in 2016. So, not that a lot of things have not been happening. It has been happening. Let me raise this question to all of us here. Do you think the day Mazi Nnamdi Kanu attended that rally, do you think that was the day the plan of the rally was initiated? No. A lot of things happen behind camera. You should understand. Some of the things you see that happen are as a result of intense lobby, intense meetings upon meetings, which, as we speak today, there's ongoing lobby. People are putting up diplomatic fronts, offensive diplomacy. People are heavily putting on offensive diplomacy. And today, everyone who never expected the struggle to get what or where it is not shocked. In the few minutes, we are going to explain the significance of his movement and all this. So today, everyone is not done on Nigeria, is not done on skeptics. That see, this guy is indeed, we are joking, we are underrating him, we never know he's serious. And today, behold, he has penetrated. Do you understand? That is what rings in our sorrow. That is what rings in the minds of everyone who earlier thought this guy was not going anywhere. The few days meeting, or the few days appearance, so to say, in Trump's rally became a strong signal to those who were skeptical, who were underrating, who were undermining, who felt he could not go far. There we go to make the analysis. Let's now make analysis with some of the pictures. Very, very important, because that is where we are central, putting up our energy on this evening. Let's now look at the pictures. Look at, some people at the earlier. I think we should appreciate our media way of doing things, because it has been wonderful. At the earlier stage, the pictures that were shared were the ones he was in middle of people. He was in middle of some persons, and so why he was in the middle of people. That picture never took a lot of attention, because people were saying, no, anybody can sit in the crowd. So IPOB deliberately gave them opportunity for their destructive criticism by publishing the pictures. He was in the midst of people. You have to stretch your eyes to see him. So some of those e-data beggars started writing. It has been our way anyway. We allow people to express themselves earlier for final shock. So people were saying, no, anybody. He was sitting in the midst of people, so there's nothing so new. And it was just, it is a kind of game, drama, and the mother of the all picture was unleashed. And let me tell you why Asorok is shocked. See now, very, very important. So you have to follow me. Let me show you why Asrock is shocked in the whole thing. You know, in every Trump's rally, like I said earlier, anyone is permitted to be there. If I'm in the United States and Trump is rallying in one state, if I decide to go, I can go there. There's nothing so big about it. But shockingly, we are going to dwell in few pictures, very few pictures. And those few pictures are the mother of shock. Okay? Is the mother of the shock. So this is the first picture we are going to look at. You know, this picture, in this picture you see Trump. I followed up I watched it, I think in Fox News, the live one, I watched it. So this is the first picture. And in this picture, you can see the crowd, you can see President Donald Trump speaking to the people. So if you tell somebody, if you bring such picture and say to somebody, Mazi Nnamdi is here, it doesn't make sense, because anybody can be there. Anybody can be there. Now, the next picture that sends another signal is this picture. I believe you can see this picture. Now, this picture is, this picture is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and one of the member of the Congress, one of the Congress men, discussing, having what we call in diplomacy, they were having what we call tete-a-tete. They were having what we call tete-a-tete. Now, the one we showed earlier showed crowd, and you see Donald Trump. Then here we now saw Nnamdi Kanu and the Republican. Take note of what we are saying, because this is how the zoo have analyzed the whole thing, and that's why you see they're silent everywhere. They don't want to give press statement. In fact, it looks as if Nnamdi Kanu have, when there's, maybe some of them will be thinking that, you know how Nigerians think, they might be thinking that it was at this process that Nnamdi Kanu was finalizing how to place Nigeria on visa restriction. That is how some of them, that is how funny some of them are. They might start thinking that it was at this time he finalized talking to United States to place Nigeria on visa restriction. So this picture, this second picture, shows Nnamdi Kanu and the congressman. What does this picture show? This picture shows that if you watch the way these guys are, just follow carefully, very, very important. If you watch the way these guys are, their position, what does it show? That there is a cordial relationship, there is friendly relationship, there is secret discussions going on between the two. The posture does not show that one is a stranger to another at all. The posture does not show that one is being introduced to another. The posture shows that there is an age-long understanding among these parties. You can see, just watch the face of the congressman, his face rising. If you watch the face of the congressman, you see his face lines showed up, which shows full concentration. There's something this guy was telling him that he paid detailed attention. So that picture shows that Nnamdi Kanu have transcended in the mind of players in Capitol, because this man is a member of, is a congressman. It shows that because Capitol is part of the places where United States foreign policies are being initiated. So it shows that this guy is speaking to this man, and this man is concentrating, putting all his energy to listen. And I think it's a dangerous picture for the zoo to see. Very, very dangerous. If you are a student of international politics or a student of diplomacy, you will understand that here maybe go. You understand? You will understand. You will understand that something is happening here. There is tete-a-tete discussion, and one is concentrating heavily without ready to miss any line of the discussion. Do you understand me? And this is what is going to speak volume. So we move ahead, very, very important. We move ahead to the next. And here, anyway, there's another thing I would want you to pick up. Very, very important. But before we go to the details of this one, I believe you understand the earlier interpretation. Our sister Ebuna Ojuse Ofagbagoka. That is very, very funny. So I have just explained the first and the second picture. So we are going to the last picture of discussion this evening. We are going on the last picture we need to talk about. And I would want you to concentrate on two basic things. These two things we are going to highlight is going to open a lot of us eyes. Very, very important. Very, very important. These two things, an ordinary eye would not be interested to pick it out. Yes. You would ordinarily watch the picture we are going to see. You would just ordinarily watch it and not seeing all these things. But we are going to call them up, and you will understand what we are talking about. So these two things, let's just see how they are. The first thing we are going to look at here is where we marked. Here we marked. I would love you to take your time to look at what is written there. Expedited entry. Just take care to watch what is written here. Is written expedited entry. Now, before we go to the second one, I think Google will help us to tell us what expedited means. Very, very important. You know, we learn every day anyway. We are going to look at, take it, please don't be in a rush, we will understand. On the tag he placed, it was written expedited entry. Now, Google said, let's see what expedition simply means. Now, look at the meaning of that word. It means make an action or process happen sooner or be accomplished more quickly. That is what expedited means. To make an action or process to happen sooner or be accomplished quickly. Now, what does that mean? It simply means, because it's a Trump rally and a lot of Trump fans are coming, but like in the stadium, why the ordinary people pass through a common channel, the VIPs, VIPs and VVIPs, very, very important persons and very important persons, dignitaries, diplomatic, are given a lot of concessions. They don't pass normal place, ordinary people. They are given expedited entrance. Instead of passing through normal check-in lines, they are passed through a special route. Now, before you be given that attention or expedited concession, you must, one, either be a member of the Congress, either be a top United States official, or you be a representative of a friend of America, or you are a very important person in the eyes of United States. And before you are given that, American government has your profile, your personality information at their disposal. So if you're passing through that place, your information is given ahead that so very important person is coming. He is not going to pass through the normal line. He is very, very important. He's going to pass through the VIP. And that is exactly the position Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is before the American government, before the American security agents, before top Republicans, before the officials of United States. He is giving a spirit. It's just like diplomats. For most of us who have used a lot of international airports, whenever diplomats are coming, they don't pass through normal. They don't pass through normal security checks. They are given concession. When heads of states are passing, they don't pass through, they pass through VIP sections. And that's exactly the position he's occupying. Now, he was given that attention when he was given that attention not as Nnamdi Kanu. I want us to understand something. He was given that attention not as Nnamdi Kanu. He was given that attention as a representative of a government. And he was given access to the place with this. Do you understand the tag there? He was given that attention, that expedited entrance with the Biafran tag. He was checked in. He was checked in as a representative of a government, as a representative of a nation, a country. And they honored him because America have respect for Biafra, for the newly imagined nation in Africa. And these are the things that kept us rock on code till now. when you see silent everywhere, this is the reason. I repeat, he never checked India without the reason. So if America gave him expedited passage, America gave him expedited passage because of their respect for this nation. Because of their respect for the emerging country in Africa. You can understand how international politics. And he was recognized as the legitimate and the de facto president of the emerging nation. And you know, this is a high-class international politics discussion. So you don't expect all these eras, name data group of children to understand what we are saying. I took time to come here to explain this so that people, they can grow up. They can understand. So, you should understand, at a program, at the venue where United States government, and one thing I want to let you know is that he was, he sat just at this VIP session. I think this is where none of your governor will ever find themselves anyway, until they die. Because this is not Abakaleke politics. This is not Oka politics. This is not Owerri politics. Neither is it Umuahia politics. I don't think they can ever get such attention. So you will understand what we are talking about. And such a person, I think it's better I say this, even the Aipucharia ended the program. I think we have made a point. And let me tell you, for your information, because on this platform we know a lot of people who cause. Such a person in the eyes of United States, you cannot kill him anyhow. You should understand. And such a person giving such attention by United States government, the worst thing you can think is to assassinate him. The worst thing you can think is to arrest him, even though he decides to enter to his motherland. You should understand. And that's why you see them, they are panicking here and there. You know, what we are saying, we are talking about a man who is not at the level of Umuahia Commissioner of Police. We are talking about international politics, not all these local chaps. So you can understand what we are talking about. You can understand what where this guy has taken the course to. You can understand that when we talk about this guy and what he has done, very, very important. Very, very important. So that is what we are here, or the essence of us being here, to digest, to analyze, to have a piecemeal dissection of the movement. Maybe in subsequent time we'll keep on moving on, because you know, at this level we are talking about classical international politics, and it's not, you know, it's not something. This is not something you should expect a Nigerian graduate to easily pick up, or you expect Nigerian journalists to easily pick up. This area is bigger than what they know. Seriously bigger than what they know. Or do you expect those small children who go about begging for 200 naira data, which is, I think 200 naira data should be about 200 MB. Maybe they use 50 MB to talk rubbish. then another 50 MB for WhatsApp chat. The remaining 100 MB, they now log off to appear later in the next about 2 weeks. How they call 2 weeks? Kahana Abiade after. Yes, 2 weeks. They reserve 2 weeks. Yes, 200 MB should be about 2 weeks. Then they come back to after 2 weeks to use the remaining 100 MB. You know, this is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a man, you know, who is internationally respected, who have, by all definitions and standards, global attention. So that is all we have, and I want to appreciate everyone who joined us. Mazi Cyril, okay? Osio, that is Mazi Foreign. Thank you. And of course, Alfred, and the great people, everyone is here anyway this evening. We will continue. We will continue because what we are doing is a just cause. And by special grace of Chukwu Kabiama, those who doubted, we see it before themselves, and Elohim will do it. So from here, I want to say thank you so much, and may Chukwu Kabiama bless us all. Bye.